die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tease. We set down by the fire, knowing we couldn't hide, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am.
You guys may know my husband. He likes to steal your stars, and you know what we do with them stars? We go get bikes, bitches, and beer. Don't you ever wonder where those Koopa kids come from? My motherfucking loins. 'Cause I'm Bowser's wifey, what? Please subscribe and check out the other video game tutorials that are going on this channel right now. Thank you guys for watching. You know, I've had so much fun with this tutorial. I've gotten really into character. I feel Bowser's wife would be really sassy and strong and intense of a personality, so it's been a lot of fun as always, which I always say. I have all product details down below and codes and shit so you can save money, blah blah blah. Now let's watch how Mrs. Bowser paints her face on. Well, first things first, we're just going to start outlining the features of Bowser. He has a very intense, defined snout and really intense eyebrows as well. So I'm going to kind of make this my own, especially because we are doing a woman version of Bowser, but I'm still definitely going to keep most of his features. I'm using an Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics pencil in Feathered, but you definitely can use any kind of liner or color because all of this will be covered up. I wanted to give the girl version of Bowser a nice little cat eye, so I'm going to outline that as well. Even when making this your own, definitely pay attention to proportions. Even though I am doing kind of a woman version of Bowser and I'm not making it quite as intense, I still want to pay attention to how his proportions look with his snout and his mouth so that when it's seen, it's definitely recognizable that it is in correlation with Bowser. Now going in with some light green paint from Mehron Makeup and a Sigma F65 large concealer brush, I'm just going to fill in the green portion of her face. For the snout / mouth area, it's kind of fleshy tone, so I'm just going to be using the Mehron Makeup HD foundation in medium 2 with a little bit of light ivory mixed in. I'm also setting that with some Krylon anti-shine powder and buffing it through with a Sigma brush. Bowser usually wears some intense chokers that are all spiky, but I wanted to change it up, so I'm giving our lady a longer necklace with them spikes. For the underbelly, I am going in with Mehron Paradise paints in white and yellow mixed together. I did stick to mostly white to get this color, but I want to just completely fill in all of where that underbelly is. I use this F65 brush from Sigma a lot when I'm painting because it is large, so you get a lot of area covered with the brush, but it also has a nice defined edge to get right up to those lines. To get that signature Bowser yellow, I mixed Mehron Makeup's yellow and orange together to get this exact shade. I think this shade really, really matters because it's a very particular shade of kind of that yellow-orange. So after finding that perfect shade, I'm still going in with that F65 brush and just filling in exactly where that skin color is. For the eyebrows, Bowser usually has this color of hair too, but obviously my hair on my wig is a little darker, so I tried to make the eyebrows a tiny bit darker than his usual color, but I'm just going to fill them in, and that is using red and orange paints from Mehron Makeup. That's pretty much what this whole tutorial for the first few minutes is going to be. Me just telling you guys what I'm filling in. So, filling in the necklace with black paint from Mehron Makeup. I also decided to give her another little choker just for an added effect because She fancy. She need 2 necklaces. Bowser has a very defined jawline, so I am just going in with more black paint and just giving my lady a very intense jaw. He has a little butt chin too, so make sure to get that as well. We want the base of the spikes to be decently light, so I'm going in with Mehron Makeup's paint with white and a little tiny touch of black just to get a really light gray, and doing so with the E06 brush from Sigma. God, finally we're on to something that I'm not just saying, oh, fill in this, fill in that. We are going to be using Midori from Sugarpill to give a little shadow right behind where that snout would be. Make sure to completely go around where the snout is, around the cheeks, under the eyebrow. We are pretty much mimicking shadow. So of course the snout is 3D and comes out of Bowser's face, so there would be a large shadow cast right behind it onto the green skin. Here I'm going to be moving on to the MORPHE 35B palette. That stands for 35 Bright. It has all kinds of colors in it, and I'm focusing now on 2 shades. The dark forest green, which is matte, and the black one, which is matte as well. And I'm just going to keep darkening up these shadows. To make it even more intense, I am using an E06 brush from Sigma and the black shadow from the MORPHE palette just to really get very close to those lines. Before I started to shade the mouth, I wanted to exactly see where I want the opening of the mouth to be. So I'm just going in with that black eyeshadow and E06 brush, just so I don't get confused. For the shading, I'm using a diffused crease brush from Sigma, E45, and the Anastasia contour powders in Fawn and Havana. With Bowser's snout, we do want that to have plenty of shadow and dimension as well. So definitely go right under the nose. He has some right under his jawline, right under his chin. Pretty much just pretend that you're highlighting and contouring your face. Looks so creepy. I look like a fat leprechaun dwarf. I can't. My fucking nose. Oh my god. I fucking hope this comes out. You are now going to want to highlight your fat leprechaun's cheeks using the Mehron Makeup foundation in Ivory and an E45 brush. You do it on the very top of the cheeks, the very top of the nose, and top of the chin. I'm also just darkening up a little bit of the shadow using that same Anastasia Havana shade. I want to start blending down the jawline, so I'm using the black shadow from that MORPHE palette and a G30 brush from MORPHE brushes just to have that blend into the skin tone. For the eyes, you know, she's a sexy lady, so we're going to give her an intense, sultry, kind of really big cat eye. So I'm going in with the Mehron Makeup body paint in black and the E06 brush from Sigma just to make this big winged shape and filling it in all over my lid. I want to bring down the line around the eye as well because I want the eye to look larger, so I'm just bringing that black down around the outline of the shape I made. Using some white MAC acrylic paint, I'm just going to fill in that empty gap. We're going to start shading that little soft underbelly that Bowser has going on, so we are using the MORPHE G30 brush again and those same Anastasia contour shades just to focus on the outlines of that light yellow color so it looks a little curved. Now using the E06 brush from Sigma and the black body paint, we're just going to start outlining the light yellow color. We are also going to add in some of these lines going across the belly, and you need to make sure they are just slightly curved because, you know, his body does naturally have a curve to it, so they wouldn't be just straight across. So make sure they go naturally with your body's shape. Adding a little bit more shadow, going in with those same Anastasia contour shades and the black eyeshadow from the MORPHE palette. You want to focus mostly on the outside where you originally put most of the shadow, and then you're going to want to add even more to pretty much where those horizontal T lines are. You don't want the complete shadow on top of where that open space is. You want to keep it towards where all the little lines are, because that's where the most shadow would be. Kind of want to start outlining some of the face, so I'm just using that black body paint again, and a, let's see here, I think this is a MAC 210 brush, if I believe so, because it's super small. And I'm just going to outline the brows and the snout and all that good stuff. I did forget to add a little bit of shadow on the bottom of the eyebrows, so I'm just using a dark red eyeshadow to give that effect. Now on to the mouth. I'm going to outline it with the black body paint again, just to get a nice feel for where I'm going. I decided to make a little bit bigger because it was a little small. I want to start doing the teeth, and I'm going off of a reference picture of Bowser because I do want the teeth to be pretty similar. It looks like he has about 8 teeth in total. I'm using a 201 brush from MAC and the white acrylic paint to do this, and then filling it in with that color as well. Bowser has this big tongue, so we're just going to outline where the tongue is and then fill in the rest with black. I'm using the Sigma E06 brush to do this because it is very small and has a nice defined angled edge. Using that same brush and Beach Berry from Mehron Makeup, I am just filling in the tongue and going around the teeth very carefully. If you're a little messy, it's okay. Mine totally was. You can always fix it later with more acrylic paint, and we're going to outline the teeth later anyways, so it's fine. In most of the pictures of Bowser, he does not have any shading underneath his little upside down V of his snout, but you know I'm a sucker for realism, so I went ahead and blended out some black body paint under the snout just so that it shows that it was casting a shadow onto the tongue. And now just go in with your 210 MAC brush and the black body paint to outline the teeth. We do want to start shading the teeth, so using the white body paint with a tiny bit of black mixed in to get gray, I'm going to be doing shadow on just one side of the teeth. Then using a little bit more black just to make that shadow a little more intense towards the bottom. Bowser is a pretty lady, so I gave her a little blush using Sugarpill Dolly Pop. As I was going through, I decided that that dark line was way too intense, so I went ahead with the dark green and black eyeshadow from the Morphe palette again, just to blend out some of the lines into the green, including the eyes, to give her a little smoky eye. The necklaces do seem to be kind of a leather material, so I'm going to highlight them a little bit to make them look more realistic using a little bit of white body paint. You want to focus more towards the center, and as the leather would curve around your neck, it would become darker. These spikes were actually really easy. I completely went by the picture, and first you do 2 small kind of triangle shapes on both sides. One side make sure to make a little larger, and the other side make a little smaller. Then going in that middle triangle that I have left, I'm adding a tiny bit of darker eyeshadow and doing the same to the very edge of just one side. I then went ahead and blended the darker shadow over a little bit just to make it look a little more curved. And then using MAC's white acrylic paint just to give a little highlight, because metal is extremely reflective. Then just go ahead and outline your amazing spikes. I thought I was going to be done after I did the spikes and the necklaces, but I thought, you know, I feel that Bowser has kind of this cool, like, biker feel, this kind of hard biker feel, so, you know, I decided, let's give her a fucking tattoo of his name to real prove her love to him. So I'm just going in with white acrylic paint from MAC and the E06 brush from Sigma to make a little banner, and then the same Beach Berry Mehron paint to make the heart. Ugh. And at this moment, I realized that I didn't ever darken one side of my little nose. So I'm just adding some black body paint in there to make my little nostrils look even more flared. Back to the tattoo, we're just going to outline everything in black and start drawing on Bowser's name. This is such a stupid moment for me in my life. I sat there for a good couple minutes thinking, okay, I have to write this backwards, don't I? And I was like, wait, no, it's different on this camera though. It looks like it's the same. I don't know. I think I should write it normally. And what do you fucking know? I write it normally and duh, I have to flip the image. It was even stupid because I thought of the fucking scene in Mean Girls where she puts the K on backwards in the mirror. Or, I mean, it's right ways in the mirror. And then she walks out and it's backwards. And I did the same fucking thing. Oh my god, I'm Karen. Then just shade the heart a little bit with some black eyeshadow. And then boom, you are Bowser's wife. Thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial. Please subscribe and let me know what you think down below. This was so much fucking fun. I had a great time. And I hope you did too. Until next time.